Hello, Pisces. Welcome to your you and them reading. I'm super excited. We'll be doing the masculine on this side and the feminine on this side, but feel free to listen to your intuition and the way you're guided to interpret this reading. And just remember, it is a general reading, so just take what resonates and leave the rest. All right, Pisces. I'm really excited for this for some reason today. I feel like, I don't know, but I just feel really excited. I can just say that. Maybe some of you are feeling excited and don't know why. All right, here we go. Little sense of anticipation, knowing something's in the air. All right. I'm going to do something that I don't usually do just because of the way these two cards fell out. I feel like I have to honor these two cards. By the way, they're both green, which is talking about the heart chakra. So there is love here. Wow. I'm just feeling like I want to take one more card on each the masculine and the feminine, and I don't do that like ever. Sometimes two fall out. But I'm just, the way these came out so very quickly and the way that they came out, I just want to take one more. Okay, I'm going to do it. I'm listening to myself. I'm actually going to reshuffle. I am getting a very strong message with this, though, I will tell you. With this Nightingale spirit, I feel like the masculine still has a ton of love for the feminine and really wants to tell the feminine, and is it feels almost like sending telepathic messages. And I feel like the feminine is being a mama bear of her own heart. See how there's this paw on her heart? And you know, when you think about a mama bear, I was definitely a mama bear with my kids. It's like, I know you're vulnerable, and so I am extra cautious, I'm extra paying attention, I'm extra ready to get that claw out and, you know, go after anything that goes after you. You are in my charge and I am protecting you. And it feels like that this is this way of this feminine, how she feels about her heart right now. Also with the 9 here, she's also protecting her singlehood. She's also saying, like, I'm okay being single. There is this energy of like, I can do it myself that I'm getting here. And with this masculine, there's this much softer, this is what's inside of the masculine. It's more of this, I'm fragile, I'm delicate too, I still have these feelings that I want to express to you, you know, kind of energy. So, but I really, there's a lot of heart chakra, like feeling communication-y stuff going on here. Let me take another one. Okay, for the masculine, please, Spirit. Okay, for the feminine, please, Spirit. Okay. Okay, interesting energy. So the feminine is getting flamingo spirit, embrace the in-between. And oh my goodness. Wow, am I glad that I did this. Wow, am I glad that I did this. Wow, it really rounds out the energy. Wow, okay, this is all hitting me very hard in my heart chakra. You see how in this rainbow, in this rabbit spirit, there is more of a rainbow. Let me see, I don't even know if that's on your screen. But I don't know even how well colors translate here, but there is a rainbow aura around this rabbit, if you can see it. And also on the badger spirit underneath the rabbit, which is telling me we are getting all signs go. So it's, you know, it's giving me like, I don't know if this is at the beginning of a NASCAR race or what, but it's like, or even maybe like at a stoplight, but it's like red light, yellow light, green light, go, you know? And it's like having to get all the chakras lit and moving freely in order to get this thing together. We have very strong heart chakra energy, but unfortunately that isn't enough, right? You know, you need the practical parts. You need to be rooted. You need for it to make sense with your sense of self. You need for it to make sense with what you're creating. I do notice in this rabbit card, there are these two baby bunnies. So it is letting me know that there is something new still to be born or to happen or to come, I feel, in this connection. This is very Empressy energy. It's actually very Queen of Pentacles energy. The Queen of Pentacles has a rabbit on her card. And it is for fertility and giving birth and abundance. And there is always more than enough. Okay. Wow. So much is happening here. Okay. In this energy right now that I'm feeling. Okay. Wow. Okay, I'm just gonna say that I feel like this masculine was a bit disrupted by how intensely, this is not someone who was looking for some great love story in their life. I really don't think. And I feel like that's why this is such a small bird with such a small voice that, the bird is supposed to be the one singing, but this bird doesn't sing. This bird uses this to say for it. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like this masculine isn't comfortable expressing their feelings, but it's like they want their actions to speak for them, or it's like they want you sort of just to know. They want to be able to communicate almost like telepathically, or they want you to know by what they're focused on. I'm getting that heavily, strongly. This masculine is definitely working on their foundation, possibly their root chakra energy, but you have 3 4s here. You have the 44 and the 41. So it may be that this masculine doesn't feel completely stable or steady in their life right now. They may feel like they have to get to a place that's more secure before they can take on anyone else. And I feel like but this masculine is heavily focused on this feminine. They're not thinking about anything else. Everything they're thinking about is, this is what I have to do. This is what I have to focus on. This is where I have to go. This is what I have to achieve to sort of like prepare for the feminine, or to like have something to offer the feminine. And it may even be that the feminine didn't ever really care about it, because the feminine has this really strong independent energy with this brown bear spirit that I was getting, like, I can do it myself. I'm Little Miss Independent here. Like, I don't need that from you. But that this masculine, it is, I don't know if this is like old school. It actually feels a little past lifey. Like maybe this masculine didn't do it in a past life. I don't know. I mean, take what resonates, guys, but I am getting that with this Panther spirit. There's something very past life about it. I'll just show it to you and let your intuition. You're a Pisces. Trust your own intuition. But it feels like, I've made this mistake before. I'm not making this mistake again. I'm going to be strong and stable, and then I'll be ready for you. I wasn't expecting to find you. I wasn't even looking for you. I certainly wasn't prepared for you. There's a lot happening here. And it's kind of like the masculine, it's almost like their territory or their ground where they feel most in control, or where they have the most to offer, is providing some kind of foundation, a strong foundation for the connection. And they are focused on it, and they are wanting it, and they are still very focused on this feminine. Okay, the feminine has this brown bear spirit and this flamingo spirit, and this flamingo is saying embrace the in-between. I think this feminine is actually, there's something here about, taking care of themselves. This flamingo spirit, flamingos are pink because of the shrimp that they eat and the krill that they eat, or something like that. I don't know. I read it on a sign at probably SeaWorld or Disney, or I don't know. But there's something here about like taking care of themselves, or trying to focus on taking care of themselves, being attractive, focusing on their own life, focusing on the things that are actually going to make them better. It's giving me this moment I had with myself. Yesterday, I have autoimmune issues, and it got me yesterday really bad. And I was out and I was in pain. And I was sitting there, and I picked up my phone and I started to mindlessly scroll on my phone. And literally, I heard a voice say, you know, to me, is this making you better? Is this a choice that you want to make to feed your soul, to take care, to nurture yourself? And I put my phone down and I picked up my book and I started reading. And that's the energy I'm getting with this pink flamingo. So I don't know if they're like, if it's kind of like, you know, this energy of just, you know, kind of falling into a mindless habit and then being kind of woken up from it and making a different decision instead, a healthier choice. Or if this feminine is like really focused just on being healthy, on contributing to herself and her own well-being and her own beauty and the richness and fullness of life in her spirit through food, through consumption even. It doesn't matter. It's not just food, but it's like, even like, what is fueling your soul? Is this fueling your soul? If it's not fueling your soul, do you really want to spend your priceless time doing it? It's also giving me this energy. I had a great aunt and she always used to say, there are two things that you can't get more of: time and land. She was a landowner. And the thing is, you know, with this, it's giving me, like, reminding myself how precious my time is and how, you know, I can't wait. It's like in this in-between moment, you know, with this person, I could be sitting here waiting for them and just passing the time, or I could be making myself better and more beautiful and more richer and just going deeper with myself. And so it's like, what do I want to do? There's also this 26 adds up to an 8. So then we have an 8, 9, which is progress. So this feminine is making personal progress within herself. The rabbit says, you know, now is a lucky time. So, and also, you know, if I look at the rabbit, it's a 49, which is a 13, which is a 4, which is, could be even saying this is a lucky time for this masculine to be building this foundation. Like, there could be a lot of success or fast movement here. Okay, let's see. Let's dive deeper. Wow. This masculine really does believe that this is going to eventuate in a serious relationship. This masculine can absolutely see himself being with this feminine for the long term. Yeah, wow. This is a consistent message. This is a very consistent energy. Oh man. Okay. This masculine is undergoing this feels like a coming of age story. Do you know what I mean? Wow. Okay. This really does feel like a coming of age story. It feels like someone who sort of has had a bit of anxiety throughout their life, and kind of almost as a result of that, really tended to the things they knew they were good at, or where they felt they could meet other people's expectation of them. But sometimes whenever they would stretch themselves, they would bring about a lot of anxiety of, am I going to be able to pull this off? And I think that in some ways it was good for this masculine, because I do think that in certain ways they really learned that they could push themselves and that they could find success in different places. that they could, you know, at least figure out a way to work it out. But I think, you know, it's almost like over the years, this method that has worked for them has, it almost feels like it's begun to sort of cripple them, because they're reaching, you know, you have to continuously reach for something higher and higher and higher. And as they continue to do that, I think it gets harder and harder to achieve the goal. And so there's a certain amount of anxiety and insecurity that this brings up, where the masculine is feeling very vulnerable, and not in love or intimate relationships, but in life. And I think that precludes the masculine, or it has precluded the masculine for some time from opening up to being vulnerable in any other way, if that makes sense. It's kind of like, I'm just trying to survive energy. It is a little bit of fight or flight. But it's also this deep sense of needing approval, and, you know, because what is it all for if not to get that approval of someone, you know, or like, you know, maybe it's their parents, maybe it's their spouse, maybe it's their friends, maybe it's their culture, you know, whatever it is, maybe it's the whole world in general. I don't know. But this masculine has, it's sort of like a well-worn path of how they function. And even though it's like, I almost feel like they want another way, or they want a way out, it feels like it's such a natural, well-worn path that they always sort of automatically return to it. And it's this process of getting really anxious, that causing them to like really overthink things. And then, you know, I feel like, I mean, what a miserable way to be. I mean, we all know what it feels like to overthink, and we all know what it feels like to be anxious. Can you imagine having your nervous system in a constant state of that? And it may not be constant, because I feel like this masculine does get to a place all the time of where they're like finally comfortable, or where they finally feel like they have something figured out. But right about that time, or maybe they're there for a year or two, but then boom, it's like they're thrust back into the deep end again, and they've got to figure out if they can, how to survive that deep end. So it feels like it's all been very momentary. I do feel like what I get is the sense of this masculine feeling like they're very close. They're very close to some sort of stability, or to achieving something. And it's, you know, it is that old story of I'll be happy when, or I'll be able to do this when. And, you know, that's a very dangerous game to play with the universe, because the universe is like, oh, you're not there right now. Oh, well then, you know, our thoughts create our reality. So when we're thinking like, oh, I'm close, I'll be there, I'm close, but I'm not there right now, we're highlighting the gap. We're highlighting the lack. We're highlighting that we're not there. And it sort of keeps us in that perpetual state of not being there, of not being happy, of not being able to have that foundation, right? That ground beneath our feet. It keeps us in the energy of treading water, you know? So there's this energy of, you know, this masculine, it's like in order to get out of the deep end and to get onto shore, this masculine has to face whatever this scarcity, whatever this insecurity, whatever this is with this shadow work energy. It's like that side of the pool, that you know, that thing that they're reaching for is always going to be something that they're reaching for, and not holding on to until they face it, until they look at the gap in between and why they're there and what they're doing there, and, you know, figure it out. See, this masculine, they're finally fighting for something and for someone, and they are fighting for this feminine. They are fighting for this connection. There's a different sense of purpose. There's a different, you know how if someone's fighting just to fight, it's a fight. But if someone's fighting for someone's honor or, you know, something that they care deeply about, those punches pack something else, something extra. And that's what it's giving me. It's like this masculine has a reason to get to the edge, to fight for that edge, to face their shadow, to overcome this way of existing, to go from survival into something different here. They're building something here. They're definitely building a foundation here, and it is for this. They're hoping that all roads are leading them to this proposal, to this commitment, to being able to feeling like they are finally in a place where they can say, you know, will you marry me? Or I can take care of you. Or, you know, let's make this permanent. You can even see in these cards, these are all black and white cards. Even the fighter is just beginning to get color in it, right? And these cards are in color. You can see that this is like everything that this masculine has done. It feels like it is all leading to this. And I just feel this sense of very much they're focused on this feminine. There's so many things they wish they could say, but they're going to let their actions talk. They're gonna get to the edge of the pool and establish that firm foundation in the name of this feminine. They're fighting for a reason now. They know what it looks like. Wow. This feminine knows that this masculine is very attracted to her. This feminine also can feel the masculine thinking about her. And I feel like she is just really trying to align with the timeline where she and he are together and where they are able to finally just come together and have this connection and to live it in the 3D. This feminine, yeah, I feel like she's had an attitude shift, or she's had an attitude for some time of, okay, I can't make this masculine make a different choice. I can't make this masculine feel secure. I can't make this masculine understand that, like, I don't need that firm foundation. I'm a warrior. I can provide the firm foundation. Like, I can't, there's so much that I can't do anything about. But there is one thing that I can do something about, and that is to make the most of this time. And that is to do everything I can do to spiritually align with the highest and best timeline for us. So the masculine is over here in the 3D world, you know, working his rear off to create some kind of foundation. And the feminine is over here in the spiritual world, like clearing and cleansing, you know, energy and aligning them vibrationally with their highest kind of timeline, it feels like. Not just for them, but for herself. And maybe more for herself, and through herself, them. Do you know what I mean? And she's kind of a badass, and she's quite capable. She, I feel like, you know, she's not doing too shabby herself. I feel like she's had to fight through quite a bit in the 3D as well, and she is really coming out on top. I feel like this feminine is kind of feeling herself, because the more you really come into alignment with yourself And the more the choices that you make for yourself are loving, like choosing to read instead of scroll through your phone, choosing to eat something super healthy instead of something super trashy, you know, what you're consuming, when you are choosy and curative about it, you are, you know, you're raising your vibration, period, end of story, and you are aligning with a higher timeline. So, you know, I feel like she's been doing that. I feel like she continues to do that. I feel like there is something here where, I don't know, if there is social media at play here, you know, the feminine may be using social media to even keep the masculine attracted or focused on her in some way with this seducing and attraction energy. It's like, I know what you find attractive and I'm putting it out there. That I'm reminding you that that's who I am, you know? Wow. You know, there's this card that says delusional right here, and someone told me something the other day, and it was like, the people that get what they want in life usually are a little bit delusional. You know, we all worry about being crazy or people thinking that we're crazy, and it's kind of like, yeah, but there is a certain sense of, you know, aiming for the moon and, you know, landing among the stars. Like, there is a certain amount of delusion necessary to be like, yeah, I could go to the moon. You know what I mean? Whatever, you know? It's just giving me that energy. I want to just take a quick look at the connection at this point. You're getting glad I met you. Some days I think of your smile. My feelings for you change from day to day. You did more for me than you will ever know. I'm hooked. I hope I make you as happy as you make me. Let me down sooner rather than later. Interesting. I wonder if you think of me too. When I see you look at something a little longer than others, I wonder if you want it, if I should get it for you, if it would make you happy. See, this masculine, they're gonna want to give the feminine the world. They're gonna want to give the feminine something that makes her happy. I hope you heal. Mind, soul, heart, trauma, past. Be happy, be loved. Man, I honestly feel like with this that it's kind of like there's no good reason these two people really aren't together. I do feel like they are grateful that they met each other. I do feel like they are pretty much hooked on each other. I do feel like, they're thinking of the other one and they wonder, are they thinking of them? I feel like there is a pretty deep 5D spiritual connection. And I think they're both, it's kind of like, I hope that whatever is within you that makes it so that we can't be together, you find that blockage and you heal it, you release it, so that we can be together at some point. All right, let me just take a few of these cards as well. Wow. Right away, you got commitment and loyalty, marriage promises fidelity, trusting, reliability, believing. Karma, okay. An emotional storm. Interesting. I feel like this is one of those cases of, even though we're apart, we're still together. It's like there's no one else that I want. There's no one else that I see. There's no one else that I feel this way about. There's no one else that it feels right loving, you know? I do feel like there are consequences for the choices that have been made. One of those consequences is a bit of an emotional storm. I feel like, you know, both people have been affected by whatever separated these two. And it has caused just a sort of feeling of instability, really, is what I'm getting emotionally. Like, some days I'm okay, some days I'm like, yep, whatever, I got this, I can make this happen, I can get there. And other days I feel like so weak, I just want you to call, I just want you to hold me, I just want you to come find me and get me and tell me everything is going to be okay. You know, and it, you know, this is a result of some choice that's been made here. Yeah, on the bottom of the deck, you have broken, shattered, heartbroken, destroyed. I feel like there are definitely moments like that. Okay, let's dive in with the tarot. Wow. This masculine, mentally, they are struggling. They're of two minds, you know, and this, you know, this is what I think I was picking up on with that karma emotional storm card. You've got the Five of Swords. This is the masculine's mental body. The Knight of Pentacles, the Star, the Knight of Swords, and the Five of Swords. The Five of Swords is like, my thoughts really, you know, can sometimes get the best of me and make me feel very defeated. You know, I know this is the one that I want. I know that this is, you know, where I'm headed. I know it. And sometimes I just want to rush in and I'm getting like, claim the star and protect the star and, you know, have the star for myself. You know what I mean? Like, secure the star. But I know that ultimately what will be the best and what will guarantee that we cross the finish line is if I continue on this path that I'm on, doing what I'm doing, and I build a stronger foundation. And when I show up right and ready. And even though sometimes I think like, this is the star, you know, I need to rush in and not let anyone else get to the star. I need to protect the star. There is also this energy of trusting fate and trusting destiny and believing that this is my fate and this is my destiny. And that, you know, when I show up and I show up ready and I show up strong and I show up with this foundation, I show up with all these pentacles and you know, I mean, the best place possible for this connection, that will ultimately, you know, be the most helpful. That is what's going to guarantee that this becomes my wish fulfillment and that it doesn't fall apart because I wasn't ready. That they're struggling mentally. They go back and forth. They think that if you're their star, then you're someone else's star. Oh my. Yeah, they have some heavy energy here for sure. In their heart space, you've got the Nine of Pentacles, the Ten of Swords, the Five of Cups, and the Six of Cups. This person, they hope that they don't regret this, you know, this decision that they've made, because it isn't really in alignment with how they feel. And it has, their mental body has done a number on their heart. You know, their mind has been telling them, you've got to be solid, you've got to be stable, you've got to be set up. You know, this feminine already has a lot. You know, you've got to offer more to them than they already have. This is a masculine that's pretty, I feel like, hung up on the material world and providing and a sense of, I have to give the feminine more than what she has now. More than what she's used to. But this masculine, it's like in their heart of hearts, they already sort of regret allowing their mind to convince their heart to let this feminine be single, to stay single. Because again, the Star card energy and the Nine of Pentacles here, it's saying this masculine recognizes how attractive and just everything that this feminine is, and that, you know, it's not just them that sees it. It's not just them that's in the world noticing this, you know. I feel like they already have regrets for letting their mind play such an important role in how this went, in sort of shutting down their heart and sort of not letting their heart lead them closer to the feminine. This feminine is in this masculine's heart in such a big, huge way with the Six of Cups here. They're a soulmate. They know they're a soulmate. There's no one else for them. It's like, no matter what, I will always return to this connection. This one is the one, and I know, you know. And oh my God, this is a heavy feeling, you know. It's almost like, I don't know that this masculine has really let other people into their heart so much. And then when they did let someone into their heart, they let someone very desirable into their heart. And, you know, that makes them even more vulnerable, because it's like, my God, everyone is going to be attracted to this feminine. Like, it is not just me. I hope that I don't live to regret this. Wow. In this person's actions, you have the King of Cups, the Death card in reverse, Justice upright, and the Queen of Swords upright on the bottom of the deck. I am going to take a look at this Justice card for a sec, guys. You do have Aquarius, Scorpio, Libra, lots of earth energy here. God, every single way that this person can, this person is just freaking saying you are so attractive, and they know you're so attractive, and they're scared to death. Or the feminine is. Okay, this person has deep feelings. They know they have deep feelings, and they, wow, you know, they're learning how to have these deep feelings and to sort of like also maintain control over themselves. And I think that is probably part of the lesson of this connection. It is like, you know, not flying off the handle, not getting jealous, not, you know, having like a lot of, you know, it's managing insecurity, right? And I feel like this masculine is, through this process, whatever has already happened here, they are really learning how to process their own emotions and how to kind of work through their reactions and get to a place of responsiveness instead. And with the Death card in reverse, there's this energy of like, they just don't want it to be over. And their actions are, I'm not going to let it end. Like, I'm not like, I can't come in and I can't make real good on it. I'll show you why I'm saying that at this point, but I also can't let it be over. And that it is weighing very heavy on their mind, that with the Queen of Wands here, coming up on the bottom of the deck of my clarifiers for the Justice card. I mean, like, in every single group of cards, it is saying that, like, I recognize how attractive you are to other people. I recognize it. Like, I'm leaving. It's like leaving the queen out exposed on the chessboard, you know, and hoping that no one calls checkmate. I don't know how to play chess, so I don't know if that's right, but like, do you feel what I'm saying to you? And it's a really uncomfortable feeling, especially when this masculine has feelings. But with the Queen of Swords being on the bottom of the deck, this masculine knows that this feminine is discerning, and that maybe it was hard for him to win her attention because, see, she's got her back turned to him. And so it may have been really hard for him to win her attention or affection in the first place. And he knows that, you know, she's not like just cutting herself off from everyone, but she's also hard to get to. She's hard to get in with. She's hard to, it's hard to penetrate into her soft core and make her care about you. And so he's sort of counting on that, and she's very discerning. He may know her to have declined him many times, or other people many times. He may have heard stories about how she shut other people down. She may be a ball buster, as they say. But, and he's sort of counting on it. He's sort of counting on her discernment that, like, she's comparing everyone to him. And if they don't match up to him, that she's going to cut them off. He may be very much of that mindset of almost trusting her and her discernment to protect herself at this time. Wow, I don't know. So here's what we get. With the Justice, this is definitely a decision that's being made, and it's something that this masculine is constantly weighing. That's what I got when the Justice fell out. You're getting it clarified by the Knight of Swords in reverse, which we see this Knight of Swords up here, the Three of Pentacles upright, the Eight of Swords upright, and the Page of Wands. This masculine absolutely 100% knows that this is the feminine that he wants to share a vision with, that he wants to work with, that he wants to build with. The thing that is coming between him and this is his mind. And it is this energy of, I can't do this until I'm ready. I can't do this until I can offer what this feminine deserves. And, that's why I'm not coming rushing in. That's why I'm not doing it. That's why I'm choosing this Knight of Pentacles energy over this Knight of Swords energy. I am constantly taking a step towards the feminine by creating this foundation, but I'm not overtly just rushing in and speaking my truth, and that is that I love you and I want to spend the rest of my life with you, and I want to build with you, and I want to share a vision with you, and I all those things, and so with the Nightingale, remember that energy where the Nightingale's beak is closed, but the phonograph, or whatever that phone thing is with the music notes coming out, is kind of speaking for him. So he's hoping that she sees that he's working his butt off to make this foundation, and that she understands that it's for her. I don't know. Okay, it's a little convoluted, but it is what it is. Okay, let's look at the feminine. Oh. Okay, feminine. Wow. Let me sit with this for a second. God, I am truly getting with this that it can be that, oh God. I am actually getting that this feminine does have options, and, but she's not really open to seeing them. She's not really looking to put her heart back out on the line. I think she sort of had her fill for a minute. I feel like this feminine, this feminine is almost like, am I a complete fool for focusing on this masculine? You see how the Fool has the white rose of the Death card in his hand. It's like the feminine is like looking for a rebirth, and the feminine, there's this loyalty energy coming up again with the Fool card with this dog. And yeah, wow, see, the feminine knows her worth, and so she's kind of like, am I a fool for sitting here waiting for a rebirth, waiting for a smoke signal, waiting for a sign from this masculine? And it's like, I'm not really waiting, but I'm not taking any gentleman callers either. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, I'm also getting like the feminine knows that she deserves for this masculine to commit or to make a move or to come towards her. It's like she knows that she's that valuable. She knows that she deserves that. She also may understand that she doesn't understand everything that's going on with her person, or that she doesn't really have all the information. With the Moon and the Page of Cups, you know, it's sort of giving me this vibe of like, I know they have deep feelings for me. I know they care about me. They've shown me in this way, this way, this way, and this way. But they're not showing up for me. They're not revealing it. They're not coming clean. And she may even go through her own mental cycles of, this is why, that's why, you know, with the Seven of Cups, kind of like, you know, it could be this, it could be that. They said this one time, they said that one time. I know them this way. I know this is important to them. So probably this, maybe that. But with the Two of Swords here, it's like, I know this isn't helping me. I know this isn't healthy for me. And remember that pink flamingo energy of embracing the in-between. It's like, I don't want to spend my time and my energy draining myself thinking about all the possibilities of where this masculine is, when they're showing up, if they're showing up. You know, I know I have options. I know there are other paths that I could take or other directions I could go in, but I'm not really open to that. I'm gonna give this a minute. I'm gonna give this some time, you know, for my own sake and for this other person. And I'm just gonna try to focus on myself and making the healthiest choices possible. And when I get to a place where I feel differently than I feel right now about it, then I'll evaluate it again, you know? But I do think with the Seven of Cups, the feminine is aware that there are other options for them. You know, even if they don't know who the other options are, even if there are not people banging down their door, they know that they could go in that direction. I mean, there's always online dating, there's always things like that, but it just feels like it's not even like a particular thing. It's just that like I know there are other ways of going about this, or other things, other choices that I could be making here. And they do wonder a little bit like, am I a fool? But they also know the healthy thing is to not dwell in this energy. Wow. Okay. Oh. In the feminine's heart space, we have the High Priestess, the Emperor, the Three of Swords, and the Queen of Cups. Jeez Louise, this is strong Piscean energy. So if you're a masculine and this is about your feminine, you know, you're heavy in their heart. Wow. And if you are feminine, then you're heavy in your own heart. And this is that mama bear energy that I said when the mama bear came out and that had that claw mark on the heart chakra that was glowing green. It feels exactly like that. It's like, I know it's in my highest and best to protect my fragile heart. I know that, like, when my heart gets broken, it is not easy for me to get over it. The Three of Swords, you know, it isn't the words that are spoken. It isn't the actual uncoupling of things that the Three of Swords really truly represents. We live through that. Once we live through that, that is done. What it is what it's our mind, and what our mind continues to tell us about what happened back there that continues to cause our suffering. And this feminine knows that she loves unconditionally. She loves deeply. She loves with her whole self. She can't just offer that to everyone, because she would just continuously be hurting and hurting herself. Because not everyone can match this energy, right? And so with the High Priestess, there is this energy of, I have to do what is in my highest and best. I have to do what is in my highest and best to heal my aching, throbbing heart. I have to do what is in my highest and best to protect my aching, throbbing heart. And I have to be in control. I have to say who gets in here and who doesn't. And I have to be very selective about it. And I have to, I have to have the strength and the courage of my convictions and do what I know is in my highest and best when it comes to my heart. I have to protect my heart at all costs. My heart is my most valuable asset. My ability to unconditionally love is my most beautiful gift that I have to offer. And there it is, Wow. Jeez. The feminine is at the ready, The feminine is like, say the word and I'm showing up, The Queen of Pentacles in reverse does bother me a smidge. It's just, what can I get one on this? This feminine knows that they deserve the best. They know that they deserve commitment, and they're not going to compromise it. They know that their choice is choose the relationship the way that it is, without a commitment or without whatever it is that I have asked for and need and want, or and sacrifice a part of myself, like let go of my own self-worth, or stand firm in what I know I believe and wait for it to come to me. And with the Six of Swords clarifying, the Six of Swords and the Four of Wands clarifying the Queen of Pentacles, the masculine is trusting the feminine is trusting the connection. And that she wouldn't feel it this deeply if it wasn't what it was. And, you've got the Two of Cups and the Four of Wands here. That's a very strong soulmate connection. She's waiting for things to change. She knows that it can't stay like this forever. Either she's going to meet someone that makes this person fall off the map, fall off the radar, or this person's going to show up and all the competition and everybody else will fall off the radar. But she's ready. She's ready. Look at that. She's ready. She thinks about this a lot. She's ready to come together with this situation. She's ready for whatever. She's ready for whatever. She thinks about the masculine all the time. But she's come to a place of peace with her decision and her choice, which is, I'm not going to compromise my worth or my value for anyone. I can't. And, you know, I'm also not just going to sit here and wait, but I am going to be very cautious and very protective of my heart. I'm not just, you know, going to let anyone in. And so, yeah, does this masculine have some time? A little bit, yeah, because this feminine is wise and judicious with her heart. She knows that it's in her highest and best not to let everybody in. And, but, you know, she's not waiting. I don't get this sense of she's waiting. I do get the sense of, you know, a hopefulness that this masculine will come around. But I also get this sense of, you know, I'm trying to distance myself from, you know, worrying about this or thinking about this or processing this 24/7. I am, you know, I know I'm making healthy choices for myself. I'm spending this in between in the most important way. I'm not sitting here dwelling on what the masculine may be doing, what they may be thinking, how they may be feeling. I am working on myself. I'm working on my spirituality. I am working on clearing, you know, old energy that's not serving me or my highest and best. I'm working on, you know, healing all the wounding that's ever happened in my heart. And just, I am just getting myself to a place whenever fate turns its hand and someone comes in, I'm ready. And that's that. All right, let's get some message cards here. All right. You're dealing with a water sign. I want to be vulnerable with you. Hopeful. I'm overthinking everything. Passion. I'm afraid to trust. And you were so unexpected. If you're dealing with a fire sign, you're getting what we have is soul recognition, annoyed, guilt, blocking. If I only knew then what I know now. We will be together again. Our eye contact is insane. If you are dealing with an earth sign, I can't stop thinking of you. I don't want to let you down. You hit me out of nowhere. Anxious. Your words speak to me like no others can. And daydreaming. If you are dealing with an air sign, you are getting secret. I'm ready for more than just texts. Indecisive. I'm overcoming my fears and fantasizing. All right, this is what I have for you. I really hope that it helps. Pisces, my goodness, what are you and them? It was real. Wow. All right, until next time, let me know. Like, definitely let me know if this resonates, okay? I love your comments. I really do deeply appreciate them. And I thank you for all your support and encouragement and telling me that it resonates and telling me how it resonates. I do deeply, I get a lot from that. So thank you so much for sharing those things with me. Until next time, I send you off with all my best. Always, always, always. Bye-bye.